you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Hi, everybody. I'm Yvonne.
This is it.
Actually, I'm Amanda, host of Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. And we have a special episode today. I know this is not our usual day to air, but because it's National Cheesecake Day and Golden Girls Day, I'm here with a few fanatics, and I am glad to be sharing the screen with these guys. Thank you guys for joining us. It's Golden Girls Day!
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. If you don't mind, I'd like to go around, and if you guys would just introduce yourselves, tell me your name, tell me where you're from, and how many years you've been a fan. I'll start with you, Brian.
Hey, my name is Brian Jeffaloni. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and I have been a Golden Girls fan since probably when it first aired. I was 10 years old when it started. So I think I started watching regularly like around middle school, high school, and I've been a fan ever since.
Awesome. Welcome. Heather.
I am Heather Says. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I've been a Golden Girls fan. I can't even pinpoint when it started. I watched as a kid, and it's just always been part of my life, like Santa Claus or anything like that. It's just a constant.
You can't remember a time when you weren't a fan.
Exactly. I really can't.
I love it. Lauren.
Lauren Middleburg. I am in Northern Virginia, and I started watching, I think, when I was a kid too, in the 80s. So it's been a long time, and just like Heather, they've always been a part of my life. They're just my friends.
Yes. And Michael.
Hello, I am Michael Morales. I am from Western Texas, and the Golden Girls have been a part of my life. Gosh, I mean, ever since literally when I can remember, from my grandmother watching them when I was 5 years old to being in middle school and discovering them again. So it's been great.
I love it. You got some real fans here, people. I myself have been a fan since 1985 when they started. I remember the premiere episode sitting in the living room with my parents, my sisters, watching. And for some reason, I was laughing even then. And now that I'm older and I see episodes, I'm like, how did I know to laugh at that? I don't know, but I was here for it, right? I'm here for it now. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for doing this special episode with me. Guys, we've got some fun ahead of us. So we're going to jump right on into it, okay? I want to talk about our favorite episodes and why they're our favorite episodes. So think about what's your one favorite episode, and I'll come around to you. My favorite episode is the episode of The Break-In. Oh my gosh. So many reasons that's my favorite episode. The one-liners, the writing. They took something that was very serious, but they put humor to it. They brought awareness to it. When Dorothy kicks out the alarm salesman and says that you are going to be the next victim of a violent crime in this house, like seeing that strengthen Dorothy, even though she was scared herself, like all those things. I feel like I've learned so much from those girls. And that episode, I literally, my husband will tell you, I could be asleep with it on. And if that episode comes on, I'll still in a sleep be mouthing the words or saying the words, saying the lines, because I just love that episode and so many others. So that's my favorite. Michael, I'm gonna pick on you first. What is your favorite?
Oh gosh, I have so many, but the one that stands out to me is probably My Brother, My Father. Um, I just love that one. I mean, with the hurricane and then the sound of music and that part where Sophia comes out, where they're yelling about the Nazis and she comes out like saying, "Grab a gun and go to the basement." It it was funny to me because my great grandparents, like my great grandpa, served in World War II, and he would always
Mm,
talk about all that stuff. And like being a kid, I didn't know, and then to hear her like being crazy about it, it was really funny to me. And then the back and forth with Stan and Dorothy.
mm,
I mean, those one-liners,
mhm,
oh, they get me every single time.
mhm, mhm. I'd
Yeah.
have to agree with you. I'd have to agree with you. Guys, we have another guest coming in, Sharpie. I'm going to bring him in just a second and get him to introduce himself, and then I'll continue to go around the room here, the virtual room here. Sharpie, how are you, friend?
Hey there, how's it going?
Everything's going great. We're glad to have
Grad,
you.
sorry I'm running late.
No, it's okay. We're here just to celebrate our girls. That's quite all right. We are glad to have you. When we first started, I asked everyone to introduce themselves. So, Sharpie, if you would just tell us your name, where you're from, and how long you've been a fan.
So my name is Chris Sharps. I go by Sharpie, co-host on another podcast. I am from Fairmont, West Virginia, and I have been a Golden Girls fan since college. So I'm gonna be generous and say 20 years, 24 years, somewhere along that line.
I love it. I love it. What we're doing right now, Sharpie, is going around the room and talking about what our one favorite episode is and why it's our favorite episode. I shared, Michael just shared, and Lauren, I'm going to go to you next.
Yeah, it's hard because Amanda, both you and Michael named some of my favorites also. And anything where Stan is involved is a good episode, and anything where Angelo is involved is fantastic. But I think one of my favorites is probably The Flu, which is from season 1. And season 1 is like brilliant to me because they had their footing so quickly and they had everything down so quickly compared to a lot of other shows. But I think The Flu I love because I rewatched it again today, and Blanche's lines throughout the entire episode are just on point and cutting and awesome. She has this line that I say whenever I feel sick. I always say it. I say, "Isn't it amazing how I can feel so bad but still look so good?"
And it's the inflection in the word good when she says it. Looks so good.
Yes. And she's wearing, she's wearing one of my favorite robe nightgown combinations.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And then of course we get to see Sophia like bring a 40-year-old as a date at the end to the awards banquet, which I think is so awesome. So
Yes. And that dress she wore, oh my gosh, I love that dress on her at the banquet. That we did see on Rose in Dancing in the Dark. But let me tell you, they made it 2 different outfits. It looked good on them both, but nonetheless, I love that dress. How about you, Brian?
I have a ton of favorites, but I would say probably my all-time favorite is Big Daddy's Little Lady from season 2. I am a theater guy, so anything where music is involved, that's why I also like the Henny Penny one. But this one, out of the park. Those ditties that they put, the Miami is nice, the AMI, another MI spells Miami Beach, the final one of Miami, You've Got Style. I mean, they're great. Yeah. I love that episode. I like the part where Dorothy has Rose go outside to show Margaret the hose dance, which is also a favorite of mine. I love that little anecdote in there. And it's just at the end when they're all singing together by the piano and with B. Arthur's Broadway background and just everybody just being able to sing it and just them all smiling and having a great time was the best end of that episode. And that's why that's my favorite.
I agree with
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Great one. It
How
really
about you, Heather?
So my favorite, it's a two-parter, so it's 2 episodes. It's The Monkey Show. The season 7, The Monkey Show. I'm in Southeast Texas, so like the whole hurricane aspect of it, I love, because when it's all like this drama happening, and then the monkey with Stan, the traffic cone, it's so ridiculous and amazing. And then we get to see, the sister and the whole thing. And there's Angelo, and it's amazing. And when the cops come and he's like, we can only arrest people we can only shoot them if they're looting. And he's like, man, grab the teacher on your way out. It's so, like, again, the writing, it's so good. And my husband and I, there's a certain part in that episode whenever Sophia says, "Is that a traffic cone?" And she looks at her daughter, and she goes like this. And anytime me and my husband ask one another like a stupid question or something, we go, "You know exactly what it is." It's amazing. It's just those two. There's so many great ones, but those two. And I asked my husband, I was like, "Oh, what's my favorite episode?" He was like, "Obviously, The Monkey Show. Like, there's nothing better."
Absolutely. Great writing, great acting.
So good.
Again, bringing funny to serious, all of that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, bringing up the rear, Sharpie. What do you have?
So I'm going to kind of go with 2 episodes there as well, but they're not directly linked. As an individual who came out later in life, Clayton's coming out episode and then the Sister of the Bride episode is just, those two, especially for the time, the day and age that those were not only written but filmed. They were just completely groundbreaking. So whenever you start to look at exactly how all of that social scene unfolded off screen in society, it really overcame a lot of the barriers that had been in place in society and started to lay the groundwork of minimal acceptance in prime time. So I mean, that's a really huge part of the growth, not only of the show as a show that really had the leading edge on social issues and wasn't afraid to tackle those, but also to the audience at that era who was watching, because this wasn't necessarily a youthful audience who was watching back then. So to tackle that topic in mainstream with an older crowd, the entire production faced alienation if that did not go over well. And just the complexity of the writing and the way that all that unfolded, those episodes really have spoke to me a lot. Spoke to me some in younger years, of course, but definitely much more as I've gotten older. So definitely 2 favorite episodes for a personal reason, but also for a very specific reason in terms of writing.
And Clayton's a hobo?
Too, like mysterious thing, like, oh, I bet he
and the whole
undercover work.
And the whole scene where Rose and Clayton are sitting on it's a fountain, or Doug, he's a boy and you're a boy. And it's like it just the way that scene unfolds, and to have it be Rose was just brilliant. I mean, it was.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with you in terms of it being Rose, because it could have been Dorothy, it could have been Sophia, but making it Rose, the naive one, who basically anything you say to her, she thinks on a very singular level, and so that was just brilliant. It made it lighthearted. It was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. I agree. We are going to go to a quick clip of one of our girls here. We're going to have some clips throughout this show today because I want to highlight our girls as we talk about them. So we're going to do a quick clip. I'm going to share screen here. This particular clip is B. Arthur winning her Emmy um, on prime time in 1988.
Anyway, the nominees for Outstanding Lead Actress in the Comedy Series are Kirstie Alley for Cheers, Blair Brown for The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd, Rue McClanahan for The Golden Girls, Beatrice Arthur for The Golden Girls, Betty White for The Golden Girls. The envelope, please. And the winner is Beatrice Arthur, The Golden Girls.
Lovely, lovely. Let me say right away that, Lauren, I'll make this very brief. The four of us want to thank, because we all won, Paul, Tony, and Susan, and Terry, and Kathy, and Mort, and Barry, and Winnie, and Terry Hughes, our brilliant director. And I would also like to thank Norman Lear for starting me off in this crazy, wonderful, delicious medium. Thank you.
Now, why couldn't she have worn that dress for her wedding in season 5?
Right?
She looked beautiful in that dress. I freaking love that dress on her.
And it didn't have toilet paper rolls.
It didn't. And bonus, she had on shoes.
Right.
Her hair is so beautiful there. Like
I
she looks
love her hair in that.
so
Yeah.
like you can tell that Dorothy wasn't B. You know,
Yes, there was a separation.
Yeah.
separation there. I really like that. I really
Yeah, listen. If we can go back in time, if we could time travel, I'd be like, yeah, this dress that she wore, can you make sure that she can still fit it for the season finale? I'd appreciate it.
Can we put that in the wardrobe, please?
Yes, right.
She looked better in that dress that she was going to remarry Stan in than that toilet paper one.
Yes. And that one was like a two-piece, wasn't it like a pantsuit?
It was a pantsuit, yeah.
It had some sequins right here. It was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking, but nonetheless. I love it.
90s.
All right, we are going to move on to the next thing. Our favorite line. That for me is ridiculously hard because, again, as we'll continue to talk about throughout the show, there's so many. There's so many. But my favorite comes from my favorite episode, the break-in in season 1, where after Rose shoots the vase, after she shoots the vase, and Sophia goes, I survived pneumonia, 2 operations, a stroke, 2 broken hips, one night out belching, stable Mabel here, blow my head off.
My vase.
When I tell you, I laugh at that like it's the first time every time. Estelle's delivery of that line, how the line was written, like that whole thing, like, because again, taking something serious, adding some funny to it, but that's very serious. Like, this lady in here with a freaking gun that she don't know how to use. She gonna see a piece of cotton on the floor. She gonna start shooting. Like that moment with Sophia like captured the essence of that episode. Like, she is truly scared, and her being so scared is unstable for the rest of us. We need to get her under control and quick. Like, when she goes unstable, maybe will blow my head off. Oh my gosh.
So good. And I forgot about how amazing that episode is until you started talking about it. I was like, oh, that's going to be first on my list tonight when I get in bed. I got to rewatch that one.
I love it.
Just how they're always so rapid fire. It's
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just
Yeah,
the writing. It's just
the writing.
magical.
Absolutely. All right, Heather, I'm going to start with you. What's your favorite one line?
So many. But one that always cracks me up when Blanche is dating the guy who thinks that Aurora is her baby and not her grandchild.
The guy from La La.
Yes. He's got the rose-colored glasses on that she gave him, and they're at the house, and Sophia, he says something like, "Isn't she the most beautiful mother?" And Sophia says, "Grand, just grand."
Just grand.
She's such a troll. Like, she's so good at that. And I just die every time. I've heard it thousands of times. And just grand. If I see that anywhere, like, my husband's cracking up.
Sophia, they made it so that Sophia wasn't just your typical old lady, right? She was quick witted. They made sure to show us that she had this stroke that she suffered, and it was debilitating. It was bad, but she came back from it. And not only did she come back from it, she is sharp as a tack. So, like you said, for her to just boom, 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 just fire them off so quickly, I think was more than just, oh, well, that's because they're writing for her. I think that was on purpose.
I think so,
You know what I mean? To show the audience, especially the older audience, you can still be, a pistol at this age. You know what I mean?
You are.
And just how different her health was from season 1 to the end. It really was. It was not only was it a dramatic change, but it really was. It really did show that kind of metamorphosis of the, not only of the character but also of the human.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
you made a good point there where they wanted to showcase like her rapid fire, because I think maybe some of that may have come from her character in Torch Song Trilogy. Because she was
That's
kind
good.
of like that kind of same character,
Right.
but just very rapid fire and like, the torch of the play. So I think maybe, you're right, or you kind of had a good idea there.
Yeah. I wish I could go back and just talk to these writers and just,
I know.
man, just sit with them in a room for a day and just pick their brains, man. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, my God. Yeah. Sharpie, your favorite line?
So ironically, it's from the same episode with the baby, and it's Blanche. I just don't know if I'm ready to have another baby or not. But then Dorothy comes up with, well, I mean, the National Enquirer could pay for it, and then Sophia comes back with, well, if you wait a couple years, Medicare can pay for it.
So good. Like, it's
So good.
And Blanche kept a straight face the whole time as they're making fun of her. And she knows they're making fun of her. And they're cracking up at each other making fun of her. That whole exchange, I agree. That's a classic.
And an honorable mention has to be all of the mentions of Fess Parker.
Yes.
Look, I Googled Fess Parker. And I was like, wait a second. I get it. I get
Yep. There's a resemblance.
like, there's young people, Gen Z, watching this show, loving it. They don't know who Fess Parker is.
Because I didn't know who Fess Parker is, and I'm an elder millennial.
And I'm just like, I have no clue. Like, who is
Oh my
this?
gosh.
And then I'll do
I
and
love
I don't know if this happens to you guys when watching Golden Girls, but then it's like a deep dive. Like, let me find out all about Fess Parker's life. Let me go
and then you go down the rabbit hole.
Yes, of random references from the Golden Girls. It's amazing.
But now you just gave me a great idea here. I got to show Fess Parker. I got to show Fess Parker.
Fess Parker in heels. Y'all, look at this. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense now.
Especially the nose, right?
Is it the chain or the pearls?
Yes.
It draws attention away from the turkey-like neck.
Oh my God.
And the square manly hips.
And the non-existent bosom.
Oh, you guys are great. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, Michael, favorite line.
This one is going to be kind of hard for me because I love them, but it's usually either an interaction with Dorothy and Stan or an interaction with Dorothy and Sophia. And the one that comes to mind immediately is it's a quick, like, uncomfortable situation. I want to say it was the episode where Blanche's brother was coming out, and he says that line of, and Doug would bend over backwards for me, and they go straight to Dorothy and Sophia, and she just like gets her like that, and she's like, I just love my mommy.
I just love my mommy.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, God, that gets me every single time. Because I kind of have the same relationship with my mother, so that one like little interaction is like, yep, every time.
Oh gosh, whenever Dorothy quickly snatches up Sophia, I'm talking belt busting guttural laugh. Whenever she snatches her up real quick, she snatches her up this way.
And then also Shady Pines, Ma.
Yes. Oh my God. Like it's like when she can't reach her. If she's not in arm's length reach to her, it's Shady Pines, Ma.
Yeah. Or that one time she had a cookie or something, and she's like, "Chew carefully, Ma." Like they taught you at the home.
Shady Pines. Yes. That's it.
Sophia says, I'm not afraid of Shady Pine. She's like, I heard they sold it to some Germans. My dad is from Germany, and I bust the gut every time. I'm like, oh, you don't want to be in a nursing home, it's, run by some Germans. So funny. It's like that kind of mother-daughter relationship is, or our mother-child, any kind of, that's just so cool. I love that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, Lauren.
Okay, so it's a Sophia line, but I'm gonna set it up. I think it's the episode, if I'm remembering, where Angela visits for the first time, but I'm not positive. But Rose has made dessert, and she says that she made Gnuckenflucken cake, right? Okay, and Dorothy says, she says, but I Americanized it. And Dorothy says, so one would say you brought Gnuckenflucken into the 80s? And Rose says, yeah, but I'm not one to blow my own Betuvenflugen. And Sophia just comes out of nowhere and goes, I can't even reach mine. Oh my God. I can be anywhere. I mean, if that line happens, I am like peeing my pants laughing. It is just the funniest every time. Like it's the first time.
That's a great exchange in that kitchen. I mean, because that's the other thing that they did with that, right? Which I guess they try to do in general in situational comedies, but something else that I feel like they just really nailed it was how they humanized them. Like, I can see this exchange. I can see walking into their kitchen in real life and seeing that exchange happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It wasn't so
Yeah.
ridiculously fictitious that you're like, okay, nobody does that. You know what I mean? There were so many scenes, so many pieces of that show where I feel like I could have walked into seeing that same thing in real life. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's definitely one of them. Definitely. All right, bringing up the rear, Brian.
All right, I've actually got two. I don't know. I can't decide. I'll give one the leg up. It was the my brother, my father episode where Rose and Blanche are both dressed up as nuns coming home from dress rehearsal, and Angelo meets them, and Blanche has her clothes in her hand, and she goes, "We're collecting lingerie for needy sexy people," and that cracks me up every single time.
Needy, sexy people.
And then she holds up the bra.
It's so every time I'm like gathering clothes to give away and I start looking through stuff and I'm like looking at, some drama, I'm like, oh, some needy, sexy person might really need this. So, yeah, that's just mine.
I have a listener who just chimed in with their favorite line, Songs of C2. What did you get? A bucket of chicken. I hope you like it. Extra flat and crispy.
Yes.
And the way she presents it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
So
That's definitely a great one. I'm going to give also an honorable mention for the episode with, was it Ken Brockman, the newscaster, who was dating Blanche, and they were all over to the house. The scene with Sophia's like, I find my tea rather moist as well.
And then she's like, I'm not allowed to be uncomfortable.
But my favorite line from that scene, from that episode, is when Blanche comes out and, oh my gosh, I'm in this old thing and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, no, don't introduce me from Okie Pinokie to da-da-da-da-da. And then Sophia just sits there from the pit of my stomach to the porcelain bowl.
No filter.
And the way she's like doing her head, the pit of my stomach to the porcelain of the bowl.
So
That's a definite honorable mention.
That whole episode is really great. That's a really great episode.
It definitely is. Definitely. All right, guys, we're going to go to our next clip. And this one is of our girl, Rue. This is a good clip, too. All right, I'm going to pull it up. There we go.
It said in the script that she was more Southern than Blanche Dubois. She was from Atlanta. So I played her with a Southern accent. And in the pilot, Jay Sandridge said, no, I don't want to hear a Southern accent. I said, Jay, she's from Georgia. He said, I don't want to hear a Southern accent. No. I just want you to do your regular Oklahoma accent, which is what I'm using now. And I said, but that's not the character as I see it. Well, there's no arguing with the director. So I did it with a modified sort of Southern accent, but not nearly the way she developed. When I came back, the show got picked up after the pilot, and I came back to do it. Jay Sandridge was not directing that first show. Paul Bogart had been hired to do it. And he was all in favor of a Southern accent, but I didn't know that. And I thought the direct had come from Paul and Tony, or Tall and Pony, as I call them. So I went to Tall and Pony, and I said, okay, I know I'm not supposed to play her with a Southern accent. So I have an idea. They said, what do you mean? Of course you're supposed to play her with a Southern accent. We want the way you auditioned the part. I was trying to pick, she's from New York. I was trying to pick a way to play it that wasn't just Rue. You see, Jay had been asking, just do your regular voice. No. You can't do your regular walk. You can't do your regular voice. You can't do your regular beliefs. You can't do your regular anything. If you're creating a character, you have to create a character. It was an Ina Pearl accent. My mother's cousin, Ina Pearl, tried to put on something between an English and a ladylike Southern accent because she didn't like talking like this. From Southern Oklahoma, she didn't think that sounded good. Well, she's right, it doesn't. And she put on an accent that I swear to God, nobody in the family knew where she got that from. So I thought, well, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to do that with Blanche. Not the same accent my Ina Pearl, because hers was a mess. But she's going to have so much Southern in her that nobody on this earth talks like that except her. She created this because this is what she thinks is sexy and strong and so attractive, and men will find it so too. And it's so much. It's funny. It's funny. She didn't think she was funny, but I thought she was funny.
That was so great. I've never seen that before. That was lovely. Like she's so, I'm not an actor, so I don't think about how actors create these characters, but that's really cool, that takes a lot of work. And they were just such great masters of that craft,
Definitely.
And Blanche was such a unique character to start with.
Yes.
And her entire story as it unfolded, you hate to say this, but yes, she was a character who came from privilege, but there was also the really deep undertones of someone who was not emotionally cared for as a child. Like there is such a complexity in that character that it resonates across boundaries and across really class lines. And it's really incredible. And I think that's one of the reasons why the writing was so complex, because you find a character like Dorothy who didn't grow up as in a family of means, but had the full love and support and direct emotional connection to her mother, and in missing her father, that it really did portray two completely different parental livelihoods.
Absolutely. No, you make a great point. I think what they did with Blanche, again, just thinking about it, we were seeing like 227 and shows like that where it was the sexy character, right? But they were always young. Right. So to see the sexy character, so to speak, in Blanche, an older woman who still had prowess, who still knew she was the sexiest thing in the room, period. That just, I'm in awe of that. That confidence that just because I'm old doesn't mean that I can't put on a nice fitting dress, throw them some lipstick, and go show them how it's really done. I still got the what they call the gams, I still got the legs. I still, all those things. Just, I love how they put Blanche together. She wasn't, one of the other things I loved about her is she was so self-centered, so self-absorbed. It was her way of showing self-love. But you fool with one of her girls and it was a problem. When she punched that guy out at the docks, whoa. Or like when Rose, was sexually harassed by the dentist and she immediately was like, oh no, this is what you're going to do. We call this person, that's what we're reporting.
Yeah.
Like when you mess with the people she cared about, all that you knew it was really just a facade for her. It was like a shield for her, because when she cared about you, it was curtains. And that's what I love about that character. Like they just did a great job. They did a great job writing it. Yeah.
And one thing I just wanted to say, Lauren pointed out earlier about how there's so much great stuff in that first season. I mean, from episode 1, Golden Girls is great. And now when I watch the show, if you don't catch me in episode 1 or 2, I'm like, I'm done with this. Because Golden Girls was great right away. So if you can't do that, then I'm not trying to watch this show.
Yeah, like if you're like, you got to give, I got to give it a chance. I'll watch a couple more. If you got to do that, it's kind of like, I'm with you.
I could just be watching the Golden Girls. So that's what I'll do. And that's why I don't end up watching anything else. Because if right away. No, I'm just gonna go watch the Golden Girls. I'm good.
I have to agree with you. They set a standard that I know that they couldn't have dreamed that it would be this way 40 plus years later.
And
I mean, just great content.
Discovering it and watching it, teenagers, it's amazing. Like, again, this is about 4 old ladies.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
From a bygone era, I hate to say it, from the 1900s. And
right.
Just in case anybody wasn't feeling completely old.
Right.
It's back around before the turn of the current century.
Yeah.
Now that really did it. Wow. Yeah. So like in Sophia, we're talking about something like 1890, and I was like, wow, that's like a million years ago.
Picture it.
Picture it.
Picture it. 1990.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What?
Listen, the 2-year-old that you all saw at the beginning of the show, he's now 9. And he has his favorite lines, just like my 26-year-old son and my 22-year-old. So all my sons love Golden Girls. My 9-year-old said to my middle son, I don't know how they got into this conversation, but he was like, John, my older son, John was born in the 1900s? Because he was born in 1998. So to your point.
Oh, I feel 16. I don't know about y'all, but I'm still 16 in my mind.
And that's what those girls felt like.
Yes, exactly.
Our girls they weren't old ladies to themselves.
No. And I think it shows people like life doesn't end once your kids leave or once you retire or whatever. Like there's still so much left to do. And it showed them being active and doing stuff and traveling and going to the gym and, all the random, the galas and parties and stuff. And like, you just keep going, you keep moving. And that's how you stay young,
Absolutely.
They were ladies about town.
They were.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
Social life for me.
We just
Blanche more than the others, but
Rest in anchor.
We just got a shout out from Alex Flips on Instagram, wishing everybody a happy Gigi Day. Thanks, Alex Flips.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, who's going to be the first victim?
Oh, no.
Rapid fire. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Heather.
I'm feeling good.
And listen, I'm going easy on you. I've got rapid fire questions for everybody, but listen, I'm only going to give you 5-ish questions.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
I think I can do it.
Okay, here we go. Rose or Blanche?
Oh, I have to pick one that. Rose.
Okay. New hairstyle or exercise?
New hairstyle. Yoga. New hairstyle.
Who should have taken the dress back?
Blanche.
Vase or no vase?
No vase.
Raymond or Ken? This supposed to be rapid fire.
Oh,
Sorry, my mind doesn't.
those are tough choices, though.
These are hard. I'm like, wait, okay.
Who did you say?
Raymond.
Okay, see, that's it. That was your 5.
Okay. All right. I can relax now.
See, not so bad. Okay, who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Brian. I saw Brian's hand first. I'll give it to Brian first. Ready?
Yes,
Michael or Kate?
Michael.
Should Dorothy have been mad at Blanche for being attracted to someone from Blanche's A-list at the wedding?
No.
St. Olaf or Atlanta?
St. Olaf.
Sausage with peppers or chipped beef?
Sausage with peppers. I'm Italian, so.
Peephole or no peephole?
Peephole.
I agree with that. They should always have the peephole there.
And that little exclamation point.
Okay. Moving right along. Who wants to go next? Was it Lauren I saw?
Sure, I'll go. These are funny.
I put in some work to put these
I'm
together for
gonna
you.
need
Yeah.
this list from you later. I'm gonna need this list from you so I can do this for my
Yeah.
other Golden Girls friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Lauren. Sophia or Dorothy?
Dorothy.
First Kirsten or new Kirsten?
First Kirsten.
Should Sophia have married Max?
Yes.
First Glenn or second Glenn?
Second Glenn, of course.
Which girl is the better friend?
Dorothy.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because there's something about those last 2 episodes of the series that I know some people don't like to watch because they get too sad. But I feel like we really get to see the amount of love that Dorothy has for her girls, and the fact that leaving them to get married is, she does it for herself, for her own happiness, but it's like, I don't know, it's like just heart-wrenching for her. And it just, whether or not she's the best friend, you know, I guess we'll never know. But in those 2 episodes, she just really shows me a part of sort of how she feels about them that I don't think is really shown too much in other episodes.
I like that.
He showed you that special part right there in the waiting room.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. Yes. That was awesome.
I love this group. Would anybody else like to weigh in on that question before I go to the next 2 victims?
I think
Who's the better friend?
I have to say Rose. I really think that Rose would do anything for anyone for any reason or for no reason at all. I think she was. Now, would it be done right? Would she have put your wanted ad in the personal section? Probably.
But with good intentions.
Exactly.
Well, they learned to make
How many dollars are in it?
They learned to make souvlaki. Yeah, that's right, Heather. They learned to make
a whole
souvlaki.
bus of Greek sailors.
You know, we had a great night.
Oh God. All right. So Sharpie and Michael, who wants to
I'll go next.
Okay, Sharpie. All right, ready?
I think.
Should Blanche have told Dorothy about Elliot?
Oh, yeah.
Should Dorothy have married Lucas?
Yes.
Augustine Bagatelli or Tony Del Vecchio?
Oh, Tony.
I know, right? Season 1 or season 7?
For a lot of reasons, season 7.
Okay. Were Blanche and Dorothy right to change teams on Grab That Dough?
No.
I got mixed feelings about that. No, for the reason why they did it, but yes, for the lie that they gave as the reason why they did it.
Yes, because it ended up hilarious. Like,
Yep.
God.
All right,
Our
Michael.
apologies to the Fry Quick Corporation.
I will just say that out of nowhere.
A lifetime supply of soup.
I'll just be driving and think, my apologies to the Fry Quick.
It's cram it piano tea for me. Cram it piano tea.
Oh my, we got Prune Dana's show them all about it.
Okay, Michael, this one's for you. Ready?
Yes.
Miles or Arnie?
That's a hard one. Wow. I'm gonna go with Miles because he's the long-term guy.
Okay. George or Jake?
Oh, Jake.
I know. He was so
I
lucky.
mean,
I'm just saying. I know. New York or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
When Big Daddy died, was Virginia right for being mad at Blanche?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She she kind of, like we were talking about earlier, she kind of got into herself a little too much there. And, she was the queen of a ball and couldn't be bothered. So I can see definitely where Virginia would get her resentment from. And then, I personally, I think I probably would have waited until after the funeral to do all that.
Yeah.
But,
Agreed. Agreed.
because, probably the day of or the day before probably wasn't a good idea. But anyway, yeah, I can totally see it.
Okay.
But how many men did she have to sleep with?
It was twice.
Two.
It was only
It was
two.
twice. It was
Yeah,
twice.
it was just, yeah.
She was gonna do it.
Twice.
Twice, but
Twice. And the last
I would have
question, Michael.
anyway.
Who wore the bowling shirt better, Rose or Blanche?
Oh, Rose. Come on now. Yeah, exactly. Come on now.
Okay.
So good.
These last two rapid fire groups are for the whole group. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Everybody ready? Everybody got their Jeopardy clicker? All right. Ready? Rob or Bob?
I'm watching the slob.
Rob.
Which season is the best season? I know, right?
cop out, all of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say season 3 though is my stick out favorite.
I like 6.
But yes, all of them.
6?
Mm-hmm.
I like
There's
5
a lot
a
of good
lot.
stuff in there.
Okay. Mine is 1. Hands
Yeah,
down.
I like 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all just, so many of them have such
Yeah.
Exactly. For different reasons.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
Bowling or tennis?
Bowling.
Tennis.
Bowling.
Bowling.
Bowling. Less chance of dying.
There was a snack shop in the back.
Dorothy killed Trudy show.
All right. We know how much Sophia loved Prince. If the girls were alive today, would Sophia be a fan of Snoop Dogg?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
She
The
had
phone
like
book
you
would have
know
been warm to get to his concert.
Judy Uncle and I listening to What's My Name on
Yes.
the CD player.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. And Rose or Blanche?
Blanche.
Rose.
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 Okay. All right. That was the first set.
Okay.
Ready for the second set?
We're so good at rapid fire.
We're so fast.
We're thinking birds.
A little distractible, but we're good.
All right. Cheesecake or ice cream?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Dorothy or Blanche?
Dorothy.
Blanche.
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Sophia or Rose?
Sophia.
Sophia.
Whose fault was the fight between Dorothy and Rose about the kids hooking up?
Rose.
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 She
Mhm.
started it.
She sent some low blows there.
Like, yeah.
She did. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Yeah. Should Blanche have told Dorothy about Elliot when she knew that Elliot was going to deny it? I put a spin on that one. Because she said when she gave the story about Anderbo.
I don't know. I think she had to say it.
She had to.
You still think
Otherwise,
she
yeah.
still had to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
agree too.
that could have just, like, that could have, like, it needed to come out.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
would have ruined little May Ling's coming
Coming
out
up
party.
party.
I mean,
I was just getting ready to say that. That was the
Come
towel.
on.
You don't want to hear it from the towel lady.
Because the towel lady was going to spill.
Towel
Exactly.
lady. And
You
she
know,
flips
So
her
that's like
dress.
the only episode where we saw a wet bar in their living room.
Right,
See,
a
I think
rolling
the only
one.
time we saw it.
Yes.
I freaking love it. I love it. You guys are great. All right, we're going to go to our third clip. And this clip is Miss Betty White herself. So let me pull that up. Un momento, por favor. All right, here we go. I love this clip too.
They had B. Arthur as Dorothy, which was great, and they had kind of had me in mind for Blanche, and then they had found this dynamite little lady in New York, Estelle Getty, for the mother, who was not that important to the original script. She was just a peripheral character. And they thought Rue McClanahan would be good as you know, in the mix. To direct the show, they got Jay Sandrich. Well, Jay, in his wisdom, bless his dear heart, said, look, if Betty plays another man-hungry neighborhood nymphomaniac, no matter how differently she tries to play it, they're going to equate it with Sue Ann and think she's just doing the same thing. Let's switch them. Let's make Rue Blanche and Rose is Sue Ann, is Betty. Well, I knew who Blanche was, and I knew who Dorothy was, and I knew who Estelle was, but I didn't have a clue as to Rose. She was one of those amorphous characters. And again, Jay, he just gave me the character in 2 lines. He said she's he said totally naive. She turned out to be terminally naive. She took every word as the surface meaning. So if you said you could eat a horse, she'd call the SPCA, you know. So the girls could say terrible things to her, but the words all sounded fine. So she got along great.
Isn't that a great clip? I love that clip. That interview, if you guys ever get a chance, watch that whole interview. It's a really good interview. But I love that clip because it gives you a little bit more insight that they didn't just say, okay, not only, you know, I think it's common knowledge that originally Betty was to play Blanche and so on, but it also shows that as these 4 ladies put these characters together, kind of like what Rue was saying in the last clip, she said it. She literally didn't know who she was. So she had to figure it out for herself. So she didn't go back to Maude and see Rue's character and just apply that. She had to figure it out for herself. And I think that is just so great because again, and I've heard her say in an interview before, Betty White, she was like, Rudy took Blanche to a place I would have never even thought to have taken her. And that just shows how dynamic these women were together and in their own right. I just love it. I just love it.
The directors and writers and everything knew like this is going to be better. Like it was, they were, you know, playing these different roles. I watched a lot of Mary Tyler Moore as a kid. I don't know why, but me and one of my friends in elementary school, we were obsessed with Mary Tyler Moore's show on Nick at Night, and we would watch it like religiously. And seeing her on there, and then I love Mama's Family too, and seeing both Rue and her on Mama's Family playing totally different roles than Golden Girls, it just shows again how great actors they are. I can look at Rose on Golden Girls and be like, Betty White must be just like that, must be just like Rose. And we know she's not. We know she was a reverent, you know, person, and it just shows how good they were and how good like the directors and the cast, like, no, this is what y'all need to do. This is going to be better. And it was, you know.
The only thing I wish they had changed is I wish they had made Dorothy a career woman. I wish like that she had been like CEO or president of a company. Like I wish like there had been one strong, like really like dominant female character who had a business. Like and I think Dorothy would have played that well. To be a substitute teacher, I think it wasted some of Dorothy's power in her character. But I don't know. That's just me.
I think it's so that like there was a reason for the 4 of them to live together. If she had a career with like a lot of money and stuff, she wouldn't need to live with all these people. I mean, she said
she'd be in a swinging
condo. Yeah.
Condo.
With a slut and a moron.
I'm sorry, I haven't had my coffee. It must have been decaf.
Yeah.
But no, that's an interesting thought, though. But I agree with you too, Heather, that it had to have made sense that they all needed to room together in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like I'm a very visual person, so now I'm trying to envision what that would have looked like. Like I'm thinking of the episode when her past student gave her that job at Borealis,
Yep.
and Sophia sent her with the lunchbox, the metal lunchbox.
I think,
And Joe.
actually, if she had taken that job, because it's explained that it would have been a really good salary and everything else. But I think if she had taken that job, since it was later on in the series as a whole, you could then kind of explain that she wants to live there, not that she has to. Do you know what I mean? Because those relationships have already been built up. Whereas
Great point.
It's starting in from season 1, you don't have that. And to your point, Heather, it wouldn't be.
But that would have been a really great, like, I want to be here, I
Mm-hmm.
want to leave. So.
And then she definitely would have been able to afford the TV that Sophia can use to start a car with.
The roof. They could have afforded the roof, a swimming pool.
Right, all of that. Yeah.
The Girl Scout selling Girl Scout toilets.
Yes. Those are great points, guys. Great points. Yeah. It's just when you think about it, and they've, in my opinion, whether it was on purpose or not, I just want to put that out there. In my opinion, Golden Girls was the blueprint for so many other shows going forward as it pertained to friendships, whether it was both genders, one gender, whatever. I feel like that blueprint of a group of people who really just love each other and care about each other, but don't have to because they're not related. Right. Just looking out for each other all the time. That blueprint came from the Golden Girls, in my opinion. I mean, there obviously before there were buddy shows and that kind of thing, but it was just something different about the Golden Girls that makes me feel like that was the blueprint going forward.
Yeah. Well, and with Golden Girls, it in the more specific way, it was definitely a blueprint for like Living Single and Sex in the City. Mm-hmm. You have the sexy one, the stupid one, the main character, and the sassy one, the smart sassy one. And you have that, with Khadijah is the main character, and Regine, on Living Single, Regine is the sexy one, and Sinclair's the stupid one, and Max is the sassy one. And then with Sex in the City, and like that's such a genius. And I was thinking today, I can't remember a show before Golden Girls that had that same 4 women.
That dynamic.
Yeah, with like a couple of men, on the outside of it. Like Stan, or like on Living Single, and Sex in the City too. Yeah. Absolutely. Such a great way of showing those female friendships, like you said, people who don't necessarily have to be together, but they are.
Yeah. I loved it. All right, guys, ready for another game?
Yes.
Finish that line.
Ooh, okay.
Which, listen, I'm talking to a team of experts here, so I'm not worried. But yeah. All right, so I'll read the line, and when I stop, that's where you pick up. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start with an easy one. My mother used to say, "The older you get, the better."
Unless you're a banana.
That's right. The better you get, unless you're a banana. Who said it?
I said it.
Oh, Rose.
Rose.
Character Rose, yes.
Yes. All right. Easy one. Let me tell you a story.
Picture it.
Picture it.
Sicily.
There it is.
Sophia.
That's what I was waiting for the Sicily to end it. Yep. All right. I hate to admit it, but he melts
my Haagen-Dazs.
Yes. Who said it?
Rose.
Yes. No matter how bad things get, remember these old sage words.
You're old, you sad, get over it.
Get over it.
Wait, what does she say next?
That's right.
What if you knew Jesus personally?
Yes. Yes. You knew Jesus. Wait, what's the one after that? Something you fossil.
Yeah.
That would devastate me.
Sophia was the best. That was a Sophia line.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're one chromosome away
From
From a potato.
Yeah.
from being a potato. Who said it?
Dorothy did.
Dorothy to
That's right. That's
stand.
right. Eat dirt.
and died.
And die
Die
trash.
trash.
Blanche said that one.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you guys don't get this one, I'm just stopping the whole podcast. I'm jumpier than.
A virgin at a prison
A
rodeo.
virgin at a prison rodeo.
And I almost said the tighter than wound tighter than a his wife at a
Girdle on
And
it.
then
Yes.
all you can eat pancakes.
yes.
Yep.
Anybody else have any Golden Girls paraphernalia with them?
I've got a
Got my mug.
Oh,
Sophia.
I'm
I love
mirrored, but got some stuff behind me.
Yes, I see that.
All right. It's not easy being a mother. If it were,
Fathers would do it.
Fathers would do it.
that's right. If it were easy, fathers would do it. Dorothy.
Dorothy said that, yeah.
They yell and they barbecue.
I am single. I'm free on Saturday night, and
I can bend my head to touch my heels.
Yeah.
so
I can arch
close.
my back till it touches. Till I touch my
Blanche.
Yes.
So close. I can arch my back until my head touches my
touches
heels.
my heels. There we go.
With the head, heels.
That is
Yeah,
nimble.
wait.
That is flexible.
That
It's
is
amazing.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
last one. I'm not one to blow my own.
Flugen.
So
Lawrence
it's
got that.
Vertubenflugen. And that's our girl Rose. You guys did good. Good job, man. Pay for yourself.
I just need the recipe for Spearhoven Krispies.
Oh, I know.
I'm too scared.
I just need to know what's in it. That's where does the smell come from?
I want all of Sophia's recipes. Like
There's
for
got to
real.
be herring in there somewhere for it to smell like that.
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh,
No doubt. It has to be some herring in there.
But yeah, Sophia's recipe to try any of the stuff that she has.
Any of it.
here, come here, try this.
That
Absolutely.
lasagna.
Because linguine with ear salve just couldn't sell.
I find myself, you guys, when I'm making my sauce, I find myself, this sauce for a person I'd get naked and make love to it.
I always feel like I need to let it cook for 16 hours or it's not going to be great.
And I love the episode. Come here, try this. Ah! You're screaming from the other room.
I like
Mom, stop that.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. We're going to move on to some trivia. How you guys feel about trivia?
It sounds great.
All right.
All right, here we go. The first one. What date did the Golden Girls first air? Month, day, and year.
September 14th of 85.
That's right.
Wow.
Ding, ding, ding,
wow.
ding, ding, ding.
That
The
was
only reason I know that is because that's my mom. My mom was born on September 14th.
okay.
Wow.
And my dad was born on May 9th, which was when the finale aired.
That's right. Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool.
Two good placeholders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What are the two middle names we learned are Blanche's?
Elizabeth.
Blanche
And
Elizabeth.
And Marie.
Yeah.
Marie and
That's
Elizabeth.
That's right. According to Sophia, what did her last name Petrillo mean?
Hey, I'm on a break here.
That's right. That's right.
Fine. Oh my God.
Okay. What was the name of Sophia's first husband?
Guido Sarducci?
Yeah.
Guido Pirelli. Sorry.
Guido
Guido
Pirelli.
yeah.
Guido Spirelli.
Yeah.
That's right.
Pirelli. Sarducci. Where did that come from?
All right. According to Dorothy, what did their house look like towards the end of her and Stan's marriage?
Easter in Rotterdam.
That's a good one.
Yes. Yes.
I needed a visual for that one.
Okay. What street did the girls live on?
Richmond Avenue.
Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah.
Richmond
Avenue.
Avenue.
Yeah, yeah.
True or false? Blanche's husband George did not actually die. He staged his death to escape his debts.
False.
False. It was.
Why is that false?
Because that was a dream.
It was
It
a dream.
was such a heart-wrenching dream when
It
she
was.
woke up.
Oh my gosh.
That's
The
another
end of that
good
episode. Oh
That's a
my
good
god.
one.
Oh my god.
That's where you can mix comedy and drama, and it comes out perfect.
It was
Yes.
such a hard episode to watch, though.
Yes,
It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Yes. And listen, I'm sorry guys, but she should have picked Lyle. I said it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I said it.
I agree. Sonny Bono, get off my lanai.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Okay, this is a good one. How many Emmy awards did the show win?
Ooh, I just saw this one recently.
Ooh.
Ah,
6, I'm gonna guess. I know all 4 of the girls won, but I don't know how many total.
I don't know.
for some reason, I thought it was either 5 or 6.
Ooh. Any other guesses?
10.
Closer. It was 11.
Oh,
11. Oh,
They were nominated 57 times,
that's so
and they
crazy.
won
Wow.
11 altogether, including like for the show specifically and for each of the girls.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. How many children did Blanche have? Not counting a writer's mistake in one episode.
Four.
5?
I thought it was like 2.
Because there's
'Cause
Biff,
in-
Doug, Skippy, the 2 girls, and then the
Oh,
one with the
yeah.
CPA. So
It's 5.
5.
it's 5.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
5. Matthew, Rebecca, Skippy, Biff, and Janet.
That's it.
Okay.
In one of the episodes, Blanche offers to give Dorothy one of her sons, saying, "Take Biff or Doug. Don't take Skippy. He's got asthma." But then we
Yeah.
never hear about Doug again, ever. We
Right.
hear about the other children, but we never hear the name Doug ever again after that. So
Yeah.
that's why it's considered a quote unquote writer's mistake.
Okay.
I'm happy that you set that straight because I've tried to like map it out and I'm like, what am I
Yep.
missing? Where? So
Yeah.
thank you.
I thought it was 5, and then when you said Jan, I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even count her." But yeah, that makes sense.
Janet, yep. We never saw Janet. No, we did, right? We did.
We did.
Who was it that we didn't
Rose
see?
had her heart
No,
attack.
we saw Janet and Rebecca because Janet is the one who came when
When
Rose had the
bypass.
bypass.
Yes.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she cussed her out on the phone when her grandson came.
Oh
to
yeah.
visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, her grandson David. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's assumed that the little girl that we saw in the episode with Janet was conceived during the episode where David came to visit when they were on vacation
Right.
trying to
Okay.
rekindle their marriage.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What was
Deep
it?
cut.
That's Golden Girl fans going a little bit deep into
Yes.
That makes sense because that was season 1, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense now.
Wasn't her name? Wasn't it Sarah?
Sarah.
I think
Yeah.
it's
Well,
Sarah.
but wait, who was that other little girl with when they had
Melissa?
Melissa.
Beauty
Was
and the
that the
Beast.
one
That was
in the
Melissa.
contest?
that was the other daughter?
Mhm.
Okay.
The episode was Beauty and the Beast. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great one too.
All right. Last question. How old was Estelle Getty when the show first aired?
60? 60 or
I
62?
think
She
she was
was
younger
the
than that.
youngest.
Like
She was the
50.
youngest.
I thought she was like 54.
He was the second to youngest. I think she was like 54.
She was the second to youngest. Blanche was Rue was the youngest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rose was the oldest. I think she was like 55, 56.
She was 62.
Oh, okay.
So even a little older than what I thought.
She was born 1923, July of 1923.
Picture it.
Yes. You guys did pretty daggone good with that.
And another, I always found it interesting that they didn't play Dorothy and Sophia as Jewish from New York. The whole Jewish to Miami trend, especially
At that time.
80s, 90s.
Yeah.
It would have made a lot of sense, but
Yeah. I think maybe they could get more from like the Italian.
yeah.
Well, if you think about it, Estelle Getty obviously was Jewish. I think the way they did that, because listen, I love our girls.
Mm-hmm.
We all love our girls, but there were some cringe moments when she was trying to pronounce some of that stuff sometimes. Right?
Yeah. For sure. You could tell she wasn't Italian.
Yeah.
You could tell, but she played it off so good. You didn't care. You know what I mean? But yeah. Even Dorothy. There was one time the Augustine Bagatelle episode, and she's repotting the plant, and you're like, no, Dorothy. No,
Yeah, non c'è pensare, I think is what she said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Didn't read that from the pot. She was trying to remember it. That just didn't work. I love it. All right, I'm going to play our last clip, which is a really good clip as well. Oh, just so many good ones. This one was when Estelle won her Emmy the same year, just a different category than B.
Now to the business of the evening. The nominees for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series are Rhea Perlman for Cheers, Estelle Getty for The Golden Girls, Julia Duffy for Newhart, Jack A for 227, Katherine Hellman for Who's the Boss, and the envelope says, Estelle Getty, The Golden Girl.
Picture it, California, 1988. This is such a big thrill, and I know that I can't take too much time, but I want to thank the immediate world. First, my husband and sons, Arthur and Carl and Barry, and my sister Roz, and all my wonderful friends and relatives on both coasts, my teacher, Gerard Russack. I want to thank my managers, Alan Siegel and Juliette Green, my agents, Harris Goldberg and Monty Silver in New York, and now down to the heavy artillery, to our wonderful, wonderful producers with Thomas Harris, with special emphasis to that lovely lady, Susan Harris, who invented and conceived Golden Girls. Thank you. Our Silver Fox director, Terry Hughes, and to the staff and crew who work on our show cheerfully and wonderfully, and of course to the best set of writers ever to write for a television program. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the reason that I'm standing up here, the three most beautiful, generous, wonderful, talented ladies, my daughter Bea Arthur and her two roommates, Rue McClanahan and Betty White. Thank you to the Academy.
Amazing.
Love it.
Wasn't she beautiful that night? I mean, just
beautiful.
Beautiful.
I mean,
was glowing, and that showed, because there were so many people that I know saw that for the first time and was like, "Who? She's on Golden Girls. I've never seen her before on Golden Girls."
Yeah,
that's how good how good she was as an actress. The makeup artist, just I just love that clip of her.
So
And that
good.
red was her color.
Oh yeah.
And it takes me back to the Tony Del Vecchio episode.
Yes.
Should these be higher?
I finally feel like the real me. Should these be higher?
The real me. Oh my god, it's so great, so wonderful.
Yeah,
And
that was
nothing. She looked nothing like Sophia in that clip at all. You know, like
No.
what an amazing, like the makeup and the wardrobe and the acting. I mean, you're right, Amanda. Like it's she was nothing like her there, and it's just it's magic. You know, that's able to happen. And I love at the end when she said, "My daughter B. Arthur and her two roommates." Oh my gosh, it's so special.
So lovely.
absolutely. I just and like you said, right? She wasn't Sophia.
No.
And you can tell that they were polar opposites. But it made you love Estelle, the actress, even more. Right? Because we've seen her in all kinds of stuff. Like I first put two and two together and I was like, she was a mannequin? Like, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the range these actresses had when we talk about all the different places we've seen them act, like you said, Mama's Family earlier, Mary Tyler Moore, Maude, Amanda, what was it? Amanda's Place was the name of
Amanda's
it?
Place,
Yeah, Amanda's Place. I mean, I miss our girls.
Best. So great. So wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're
Listen,
talking
I hope we're making them proud.
I hope so.
I think so.
One thing that I can say, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think I'm speaking for all of us, is that those girls were special and still are to so many people for so many different reasons. They helped so many people. Just the show. We're not even talking about the actresses yet. We know what kind of stuff they did behind the scenes as actresses, but what they did on the show, and with that show, how they reached audiences, the awareness that they brought. Like I think about the Mario episode, I think about the episode when Michael's marrying the skinny white boy and the older black woman who's been around the block more than the Good Humor Man, and the Clayton episodes, obviously. Phil, I wish we could have met Phil.
Yeah.
Bonus question for you guys. If you could wave a magic wand and get your wish granted, who would have played Phil? If we ever got to meet him.
Oh my gosh.
Ed Asner.
Ed Asner?
That's amazing.
Would that not be funny? I mean, his
That's an amazing answer.
gravelly,
That is really good answer.
That is
voice.
good.
He kind of would resemble Angelo in like kind
Yes.
of a weird way. I mean, come on.
That is such a great answer. That's Teddy?
Good.
Yeah. I would be hilarious. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good.
Ed Asner. Wow. I'm actually not mad at that. With the way that you've described it.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that voice, and then he comes out in his full like Teddy, just ready to go. I mean, come on, that's priceless.
Where was he shopping? Big Girls Pay Less?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a great answer.
All right, I'm gonna say something. Nobody choke, okay?
Okay.
Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
Because of his stature more than anything.
Yeah.
Could you imagine this big, tall, what was he, like 6'2" or something? He was
I mean, he
huge.
could have pulled off a plunging neckline.
And he was a thickum, right? So could you imagine somebody built like him walking in with a dress on, like the blue dress our favorite baseball player was wearing?
Oh,
like,
boy.
could you
Yeah.
So
I
if
love
we're
it.
going for funny,
Yeah.
in my head I see Perry Mason.
That's a great answer. too. I'm gonna have to meld on that one for a bit. I mean, we could always say Fess Parker
You can always
because
say that.
It would have been like twins.
yeah.
Look at the resemblance. I couldn't tell which 20. There will be an episode where
Oh,
one of
yeah.
them thought that they were talking to Dorothy and it was him.
Yeah, there's a lot that could have been done with that for sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, girls, it is time to bring the show to an end. This was so much fun. And I could talk for hours and hours and hours just about one episode, much less the entire series, much less the actresses by themselves, much less the characters by. I mean, gosh,
Yeah.
the content would be endless. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And what I'm going to ask you to do now, because we're going to toast our girls, audience. We're going to toast our girls and thank them for being a friend all these years. But what I want to ask each of you right now is to very briefly, 60 seconds or less, give the audience the why this show is important to you. So, Brian, I'll start with you.
The reason it's just great is it's just a big hug. It's a comfort blanket. I mean, you can just wrap yourself in the show and just spend hours just feeling the love that the girls had for each other, and just feel it in the audience. It's just like I said, I used to do shows, and when I would come home, they'd be on, and I just give them it. Just give me a great big warm, like just a big comfort blanket, big hug.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Heather?
I have to echo Brian. It's the comfort. It's your friends being around. You can put it on. You don't even have to be watching it. I'm often not watching, but you're listening, and it's like having these girls, and you know the kind of people they are, and it's just you feel, and especially as as a woman getting older, you just feel like there's more to life, and it's very comfortable, and feels very safe, and they're just hilarious. And I think we live in a world that could use more funny every day, all day.
Michael?
Again, it's the nostalgia. It's the friend. You're able to sit and watch these people interact like if they've known each other forever and they're an actual family, and it's comforting. But more to that, it when I was a kid, it showed me that there were actually like people that were going through some of the things that I was feeling at the time, and that it was okay. And so, there's a lot more to it, but yeah, that's a little bit of it.
Yeah, I like that. Sharpie?
For me, it's the power of love, the power of learning and growing to become, and the power of radical acceptance and the radical commitment to evolving, to understand, to love, and to grow. So, throughout the entire show, all of the characters evolved, and they each overcame their unique challenges. But at the same time, it showed that the power of love, support, care, and concern for your fellow friend, fellow man grows and evolves and becomes through life. And it's just the beauty of human relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Lauren?
It's, for women who make me laugh and make me cry and bring me comfort. And I wrap them around myself like a warm blanket. And I just, I feel like I know them. And they put a smile on my face every time. And like Heather says, I don't even have to be watching it, but if it's in my ear, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For me, there's so many things that I can say is my why, but I think what stands out the most for me is very candidly and very openly. I came from a home that sometimes you didn't quite know what you were going to get, day to day. They were always my safe place. And to this day, they're all, when I'm feeling blue, when I just like, what's this thing is happening or whatever, I can put on my Golden Girls and everything that's happening in the world, or my little world, should I say, is gone. And it's just me and the girls. And as crazy as it sounds, even way back then when I first started watching, it was something about them that I related to. I still have not quite figured out what that is yet. Even now, I still haven't figured out how or why, because let's let's just call a spade a spade. They're old white ladies. What do I have in common with old white ladies? Yeah. I don't know. But there's just something about them that just, I don't know, maybe it's grandma's touch. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about them that I just feel like I relate to them, and they've just always been my safe place. So that's why they're important to me. I love my girls through and through. So with that, audience, we're going to toast our girls. I've got my cheesecake here. What do you guys have?
I have
Same.
Cheesecake.
I have two because I'm greedy. I have two cheesecakes because I didn't know what one I was going to want. So happy Gigi's Day, girls.
To the girls.
To the best girls ever.
I see why they were eating this every night.
Yeah, no kidding. No, seriously.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something. When I get off camera, I'm gonna be quite ravenous for this. What did Blanche say? By the middle of the evening, my belt is, my pants are cutting me so tight, my feet are turning blue.
For me, it'll show up in the night.
Where is my quiche?
Where's my tuna quiche? You guys are wonderful, wonderful. Does anybody have anything they want to showcase? I don't know if you guys probably can't see it, but there's a balloon there, and directly above it is my original pilot script, signed by all four of the girls. That's my pride and joy. I've got so much stuff all around the house: shirts, mugs, soap in the shape of the girls.
That is a treasure.
All the cookbooks that they have. I have a curio just with my Golden Girl stuff in it. There's stuffies, blankets. I can go on and on and on. But what do you guys have? Anything you guys want to share?
One of my prized possessions, my dog, is named Betty White.
I love it. I love it.
She was a rescue, and she was a solid white dog, so I just had to name her Betty White.
You had no choice.
I love that.
We have a cat named Milton, named after it's your friend Milton. And when we got him, and we were thinking of a name, and I was like, you know what, that fits him. So we've got Milton. That's my best Golden Girls-esque paraphernalia.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Anybody else have anything?
My sister got me some shot glasses. So we each have our assigned shot glasses, and they were heavily used. So there's mine.
Let me tell you something. So I have 2 sets of shot glasses, but I have these wine goblets that have the girls' faces on it, and like their line, like Sophia says, "Picture it, Sicily." Rose says, "Back in St. Olaf," and so on. Dorothy says, "Shady Pies," all of that. When you have your shot glass and your big old wine goblet on girls' night, it makes for a lot of fun. I'm just going to leave that there.
Absolutely.
Just like the show, it goes down easy.
It goes down easy.
Indeed.
Oh, okay. You guys have been great. I appreciate you. I'd like to stay on with me for just another moment. I'm going to end the show like I end all of my shows with a quote. A quote of the day, basically. And my quote for today, for our special Golden Girls Day / National Cheesecake Day, is from Sophia Petrillo of the Golden Girls. People waste their time pondering whether the glass is half empty or half full. Me? I just drink whatever's in the glass.
Indeed.
Drink up, people, and enjoy life. Thank you all so much. Again, if you would just stay behind for just a minute, and we'll close out the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you heard it on Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. We celebrated our girls, B, Betty, Rue, and Estelle. We love you. Thanks for everything. Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.